In the last video, we talked about what is included in a chemical reaction in terms of the elements, how much of each element or compound, what we start with, or the reactants, and what we end with. This video is going to look at the different types of chemical reactions. And we basically put chemical reactions into four general categories: a synthesis, a decomposition, a single replacement, and a double replacement. So starting with the synthesis reaction, that's going to be right here. In a synthesis reaction, you're going to have two or more substances. So in this case, we have substance A, we have substance B, and they're going to combine together to form a more complex substance. Okay, substance AB. So we often refer to if you're going into the nursing field or the medical field or anything that's human body related, we often call synthesis reactions, as it pertains to biology, anabolic reactions. We're building something. Think about if you're using anabolic steroids, you're building muscle mass. Synthesis reactions always are going to require energy, and we're going to talk more about energy next week. The second kind of reaction is a decomposition reaction. So a decomposition reaction is going to involve taking a complex substance and breaking it down into its individual parts. Okay, so we have complex AB. We're going to break it up into complex substance A and substance B. And again, in biological terms, we call this a catabolic reaction or catabolism. So when we eat and we digest foods, digestion is a catabolic reaction. We're taking complex foods and we're breaking them down into their individual parts: proteins, lipids, carbohydrates. The third type of reaction then is called a single replacement reaction, and this is going to be where one substance replaces another in a compound. So we started with substance AB, we added substance C, it undergoes a chemical reaction, and the B and the C basically replace each other. So now we have substance AC, and now we have substance B by itself. So basically there's a single swap that occurs. In a double replacement, we have a double swap that occurs. So again, we have substance AB right here, we have substance CD, and then we're going to, both of these will swap places. So we'll end up with AC, C will come over here, and we'll end up with BD. That's your products. So these are the four general types of chemical reactions. Now, there is another type of reaction that's worth mentioning. We're not going to get into it a lot, but it is important, again, especially for those of you going into the medical field. And these are called oxidation reduction reactions. These are going to be the chemical reactions that supply the energy for life functions in the body, how our cells get energy. And basically, it's a dual reaction, so there's an oxidation piece to it, and this is going to be where either hydrogen or electrons, so remember that hydrogens basically is another word for electrons in chemical reactions, that hydrogens or electrons are going to be released or oxygen will end up being gained. And in the oxidation part of this reaction, energy is released, and typically you will have carbon dioxide as one of the products. So by looking to see if carbon dioxide is produced, you can tell if a reaction is an oxidation one or a reduction one. A reduction reaction, and again you can see here how in this example here for oxidation, compound A is going to lose electrons. In this case it loses 2, or hydrogen, so electrons are hydrogens when it goes through this reaction. The reduction part is going to be that you're going to have another compound in the reaction where a compound is going to gain hydrogens or gain electrons. And this is going to be the reducing agent. And this is going to have water as a byproduct. So again, you can look at a reaction and see if water is being produced, then that would indicate that a reduction reaction is taking place. How do we know a reaction has taken place? Well, we go back to week 1 and the difference between chemical changes and physical changes. We're going to look for chemical changes. So that might include heat or light emission. It might include changes in color. It might include the formation of gas or bubbles. It might include the formation of solids. So if you mix two liquids together and then a solid ends up forming, this is called a precipitate. So looking for any kind of chemical change will indicate that an actual chemical reaction took place.